All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Complexity Casting action. I'm your casting host, Beef, bringing you more HoN Tour Gold number 2, Losers Bracket Round of 2. One of these two teams is going to be going on to face Pencils in the Losers Bracket Finals coming up right after this. So we'll have to figure out just who it's going to be. Druidz currently leads the series 1-0 over Vitriolic Gaming. So vtL, they got to put it all on the line right now. They got to win this game and the next if they want to hope to advance. Whereas Druidz, they've just got to display the fine games that they were showing last time. And, well, they will, in fact, be able to advance on. Now, you can already see, once again, both of these teams, they're pretty upset with each other. There is a lot of animosity. There's a lot of bad manner going on between these two. But guys, that is what makes a good rivalry, and so I'm happy to see it. Sometimes it's something fun to talk about for sure. But let's get onto the game. We do have the blind banning stage. Both teams choosing to ban out Keeper of the Forest. Ophelia and Tempest make the other blind bans. And so a couple of the strong junglers, 3 of the very strong pushing junglers, in fact, banned right there. So no real big surprise that those are, in fact, banned. But banned they are. Let's get into the lockpicking stage. We do, in fact, have Plague Rider, Fade, Engineer, Magnus, Pebbles, and Nymphora. So that is a lot of stuns. 5 out of those 6 heroes, everybody but the Plague Rider, is generally a hero that you play in the mid lane. It's some combination of your mid lane stunners. The Fade, the Magnus, and the Pebbles, your point stunners. And then, of course, the Engineer and the Nymphora, your great support heroes in that middle lane. So, well, a lot of those being banned out. We'll see how, in fact, these teams do choose to run that middle lane. And then, of course, Plague Rider right there with the strong support. Getting into the bans, Mikey's for the Vitriolic side does choose to ban out Nymphora, DrDz, and Parasite. So going with a few of those normal bans. Excuse me, that was wrong. DrDz, Parasite, and Tundra. Sorry, saw the Nymphora up there and I read it wrong. So DrDz, Parasite, and Tundra. So going with a strong ganker in the form of Parasite and Tundra. And then the DrDz, which proved to be very, very useful in that last game. Does not want to have to deal with Druidz DrDz once again. Now, on the other side, Pew bans out Wild Soul, War Beast, and Bubbles. So a couple of the strong jungling pushers in the form of the War Beast and the Wild Soul. And then, of course, a very, very strong Suicide being banned out. So, interesting. With the Plague Rider already in the lock pool and Bubbles being banned out there, Plague all of a sudden looks very, very tempting as a Suicide. So we'll see if he is, in fact, picked up here momentarily. First pick out of the DrDz side is, in fact, going to be Pharaoh. So going with a Suicide to start out with. So saying maybe a Plague Rider not so needed. But, of course, Pharaoh's one of those heroes that can also be played in the short lane solo or a mid-Suicide quite effectively as well. And does have some very, very strong presence no matter how he does. As long as he's able to get that level 6, he's got great initiation potential. And on the other side, though, vtL, Vitriolic Gaming, goes with Mikey's on the Aluna. And, of course, Bitchlab picks up the Hag. So, not bad. Going with the strong support pickup right away. And then, of course, the Wretched Hag. So, Wretched Hag, of course, will be able to play that hard carry type role if they do get to that late game stage. And what the hell is going on with Druidz over there on the other side? Soul Stealer Myrmidon? Like, that's straight out of like a year and a half ago. I mean, right when Myrmidon came out, you saw him all the time, and Soul Stealer we just haven't seen for like a year and a half. So, gonna be seeing those two heroes. I mean, Soul Stealer I saw on an in-house scrim a few days back that Tralf was playing Soul Stealer and did very, very well with it. And I've seen it maybe 2 or 3 times in some competitive games over the past 2 months or so. But certainly not one that you see every day. So I'm really excited to see what Druidz is really going for here. And then, of course, the Myrmidon pick with it, a great supporting hero. Now, the problem is that he has really, really, really strong stunts. He has an incredible ability to actually lock people down if you're able to connect with those stuns, but he also has extremely short attack range. So with that attack range, he's just not quite able to put out any constant harassment in these lanes. So you really need to have a strong killing partner that you're not worried about having to out-harass with auto attacks. You're worried about just killing your opponents outright and then getting the farm while they're dead. But we're getting right on into this. Meraxis is the last standard pick over there for Vitriolic Gaming. And then Fade, first lock pick out of the Druidz crew. So Sven currently holding on to the Fade, not swapping just yet. But that, of course, a very strong hero to go with somebody like that Myrmidon. Has that extremely long-range stun, the 2.5-second duration stun in the Burning Shadows. Makes it easy to line up that Weed Field and the Magic Carp if they choose to drop those at the same time. And, well, that's a lot of burst damage, so would not be surprised to see that one coming out at all. On the other side, though, talked about a little bit before, a lot of locks on the mid-type heroes. And, well, looks like Pebbles Engineer going to be given away to the Hellborn side. So vtL rounds it out with that one, and not bad at all, guys. So we do have Aluna going to be played by Mikey's. We got Bitch Slapped. He's going to be on the Pebbles for now. We got Meraxis, Wretched Hag, and Engineer. So a little bit interesting to note that there's a Pebbles and a Meraxis on the same team, as the last pick is, in fact, Plague Rider over there for the Druid side. So going with that strong Suicide in addition to the Pharaoh. And some very strange teams here. Very strange teams indeed. So with the Pebbles and the Meraxis on the same team, only one of them would normally get a babysitter. But as we see no junglers in this game, I can tell you one thing. Two things, actually. Let's make it two things, guys. Two things. We're going to see a ton of action in this game. And, well, both of these heroes are going to get a babysitter, which is not normal. So you're going to be able to get the Engineer and the... Excuse me, the Engineer is going to go with the Pebbles, most likely, and then the Aluna with the Meraxis. Well, Engineer might actually go with Meraxis. You can switch it up. They're both great lanes, so we'll see. But once the Meraxis and the Pebbles both get their portal key and they both get rolling, I really, really, really like this Hellborn team, because what do you need to do to shut down a Soul Stealer? You need to gank him consistently, and you need a remake. Vitriolic is about to say no, and I'm going to laugh. It's actually going to get said no in a really funny way. And then everybody's going to start calling on their name. Oh, no. Maybe they're not going to say no. Okay. Maybe a little bit of a truce was called here. Not bad. Good on you, Vitriolic and Druidz. Way to take it a little bit more professional. I like it. But yeah, so once they're able to get those portal keys up, they're going to be able to consistently defend this, or excuse me, gank this Soul Stealer. And without proper wards and without proper defending heroes, which the Legion team really doesn't have a whole lot of defending heroes for the Soul Stealer, they're going with the best defense is a good offense strategy. So, I guess the Myrmidon, the Fade, the Pharaoh, that certainly has a relatively big ganking impact. I can't stop myself from reading the chat, and the chat is hilarious. So, I'm sorry about that, guys. I get distracted sometimes when they're chatting. But, well, we'll see if Fabelli is going to be able to actually get the farm that he needs. Is, you know, they kind of said that people were on the wrong heroes here. And, well, we shall have to see. I kind of feel like they did screw that up. Indeed, because Fabelli was playing... No, I guess he was on the Moon Queen last time. Okay. So what did they screw up then? Is Zintz supposed to be on the Fade? That could be it. Zintz was on the DrDz last time. I'm not quite sure. But on the other side of things, I mean, you got the Aluna and the Meraxis and the Engineer and the Pebbles lanes. Both of those should do very, very well against the opposing team over here. I mean, you've got the short range of Myrmidon and Fade. You got great lockdown potential, but if you throw something like an Engineer Miraxis against those two heroes, then damn, they're going to do pretty damn well against the Myrmidon Fade, because as long as they don't get double Weed Fielded or double Burning Shadows, then it's just not really gonna. They're not gonna be able to get any kills. The Plague Rider that's gonna be doing his thing solo at some point. No, Plague Rider's gonna have to be going with Pharaoh. Excuse me. Yeah, they're not gonna be able to run a suicide here. It's gonna be Plague Rider and Pharaoh at the same time. They're gonna be in the same lane, while Soul Stealer most likely goes for that solo, unless Pharaoh goes solo and then they run the Plague Rider to babysit the Soul Stealer. I don't know. I'm very, very interested to see what Druidz is actually going to be running here. But of course, the ganking potential on both of these teams is very high, and without any junglers in the game, you can very much so expect a lot of action. But guys, this appears to be taking quite some time. So once again, I think we're going to go to a quick break while these teams get their stuff sorted out. So yeah, let's just give them a second with the question marks here and see if maybe something can something can happen. But being that I am solo casting, I'm a little bit less than inclined to sit around and just talk while they do nothing. Sec. Interesting. Interesting indeed. We need remake. Talking to admin. Okay, guys, we're going to go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the remainder of Druidz versus Vitriolic with Beef Coldcast right here. We'll be right back. Okay, never mind. We're going back to a break. Guys, I don't even know what's going on. They don't tell me anything. Okay, guys, sorry, there's another error. Evidently, I'm not in the game, even though it says I'm in the game. So, we're going to go ahead and try to join the game. And... okay, I guess we're in the game. Well, guys, apologies for all the technical issues that we've kind of had problems with here thus far, but we are in fact going to be into this game now, finally, so we get to take a look at what exactly is going on with these lanes. So Luna Meraxis is in fact going to be top, and it will be Plague Rider plus the Soul Stealer up here. Putting Soul Stealer in the long lane. Now, I've seen a lot of things in my day. I don't know that I've ever seen a long lane Soul Stealer. So I am extremely interested to see how, in fact, that will be working out for Druidz. Of course, with the long lane Soul Stealer, they will be able to put the Pharaoh in short lane, where he should have a very good time against Wretched Hag. Especially since they have gone ahead and... no, they did not pool anything. Okay. So they did not pull him any kind of regen or anything along those lines, but and then we also do have Myrmidon and Fade in the middle lane, Pebbles and Engineer going to be on the other side. I really, I don't know. I feel like I would have liked a Luna Pebbles together more, and then Meraxis and Engineer mid, but I actually like this one just fine as well. So Myrmidon will can be caught pretty far out of position with this composition, especially since he did not get his waveform at level 2. So going to be going for the more aggressive Carp plus Weedfield. Now I want to make sure that everything is working, because normally I have a routine when I get into the games that I just kind of got into this one. So just want to make sure everything is good. Yes, okay. There we go. Alright, so Fade and Myrmidon up against the Engineer and the Pebbles in the middle lane. Let's take a look at the creep scores. Currently 9-1 for Sven, and he is in fact going to be up against a 10-2 Pebbles, so relatively even as the Slagmites do come out. Wheatfield's going to be going in, but not before there are in fact a couple of things going down, and down goes Fade, the keg, the turret. Very, very well placed there by Engineer before he did get hit by that Weedfield. And so Sven goes down in the middle lane, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. The Pebbles and the Engineer, they just have more damage, burst, kind of, I don't know. They have more range. I don't know even what you want to classify that as, but unfortunately Fade and Myrmidon, they just don't have what it takes in that middle lane, and they're falling a little bit behind. So they do give up the first blood there. Now, in the top lane, you do, of course, have Fabunco, or excuse me, Fabelli being supported by Fabunco. They're playing the Soul Stealer lane up here. Soul Stealer at 6-3 CS. Pretty bad, as a Hasted Pharaoh is going to come in on the Wretched Hag right here, and has not activated the Hellfire yet. There's the Hellfire, and he's going to be going in for a dive, but no. Creep Wave is able to get there. If there had been no Creep Wave, that would have most certainly been a dead Hag. As Weedfield goes out right there, Burning Shadows onto a couple players as well, and need to put D&D back on. By the way, guys, if you have not checked out the Cryo 9 in-house league yet, highly recommend that you do that. I've been busy over the last couple of days, but actually coming up this next week, I'm going to be signing up for that and playing some games myself. I was a member of multiple in-house leagues back in the day, in the Frag High in-house league, the original in-house league, and you get to play with some very, very skilled players and very fun games indeed. So I'm excited to have another in-house league here in HoN, as the Haunt goes out onto Pharaoh, and Pharaoh is maybe in a little bit of trouble right here as Engineer keeps going down there, and down goes Zinth. So very well done. Nice roaming coming out of Engineers. He does hit level 4. He's got that bottle with the illusions in it that he just activated. He's got those Striders already as well that he picked up with First Blood. So Fear the Zap making work happen here as Burning Shadows plus Weedfield goes out. But look at the damage. There's just not a ton of damage being put out onto this Pebbles. That's level 2 Weed Field. That's level 2 Burning Shadows. And speaking of which, of level 2s, there's no waveform here for our Myrmidon. So if he gets caught, normally you kind of think about Myrmidon and be like, oh, well, if you go on him, then, well, he's just going to waveform away. Unfortunately, does not have that ability, though. So going to be taking a ton of damage and possibly dying if, in fact, he does actually get caught out of position here. Soul Stealer, I know in the last game he had a Guardian Ring. I don't know if he started off with a Guardian Ring in this game or not. I thought that he did. But unfortunately, if he did not, then that's, well, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Stalagmites go out onto Fade right here. The Chuck not quite being used just yet. And now Pebbles might be turned around. Now Chuck goes out onto Fade, but they're going to turn it around. And down goes Pebbles. One more auto attack, and no, Fade does get away. Activates that health potion. Weedfield is there. Dodge the Weedfield. The Keg, though. Burning Shadows goes out. And Engineer, Fear the Zap, really trying hard. Wants to get some turnaround kills happening here. And, well, with another Keg or a turret, he might have been able to get one, but no, just runs them off. Going for a rune, but it will be regen rune bottom. Striding down there, Engineer will be able to pick that one up. So another engagement in the middle lane. Pebbles, unfortunately, gets the worst end of that one, as neither of the Legion players do go down. And now, all of a sudden, well, Fade catching back up a little bit. Only about 15 gold per minute behind the Pebbles in the middle lane. Regen-Engineer. Wow, that's Regen-Engineer. Oh, man. I'm done, man. I can't make any funny names today. Cannot do it. Pew claims that he's the sidestep king, and I say he did not sidestep anything. He just kind of didn't get hit by it because the Keg was over here and Pew was over there. But whatever he wants to say, if he wants to toot his own horn, who am I to tell him otherwise? Rax is up here, currently doing pretty damn well, 33-11 as opposed to the 28-7 of Soul Stealer. So Soul Stealer certainly is doing better than he was in the past, you know, when he was real far down, as Miraxis is going to go in here. Quake goes out onto Plague Rider. There's the Matrax. No Matrax actually being used, as the Plague Rider ultimate has gone out. Now the Matrax is up, and well, Soul Stealer might be in a little bit of trouble because the turret's there as well from Fear the Zap, and Soul Stealer will be in a ton of trouble. Matrax detonation goes out, and down goes Soul Stealer. So a 2-for-0 so far in the top lane. Axe onto Myrmidon, but no, Myrm will be able to escape. No Kegs available. And this has left Fade and Pebbles to one-on-one here in the middle lane. Matchup that Pebbles is probably okay with. Not extremely happy, as, well, double damage does go to the Engineer. Going to be bottling that one up once again. Fear the Zap with his Striders has done a fantastic job of running these runes. Getting that bottle filled up once and again. So, not bad, not bad. As another kill goes out up top. A nice counter initiation there. And Pharaoh comes in, scores a kill onto the Aluna as well as the Miraxis. So there you go. That's what you need. As in the middle lane, Reflection Fade's going to come out. Opens onto the Engineer. Engineer goes down. Myrmidon goes down as well. And, well, both supports get taken out in the middle lane. But what did I tell you guys? This is going to be an action-packed game. And 9 minutes in, we're at 9 kills. So keeping even in that metric. Let's take a look at this again. I feel like Soul Stealer started to do kind of better, and there he is, 280 gold per minute. Top farmer on his team. I feel like Pharaoh really should have done better in that bottom lane. Suicide Hag, Yolam is doing extremely well. He's about to be the top farmer in the game, and as soon as that Pharaoh left, I'm sure he's just been getting absolute free farm, but as Pharaoh will be not teleporting back down, actually. That is Soul Stealer. So Soul Stealer teleports back down and will clean up a couple of those creeps. I'm going to try to go in for deny. No, not going to be doing that just yet. Double damage. Pebbles looking kind of fearsome. Close to 200 top-end damage and still not able to make those last hits. A little bit of a mistake as Burning Shadows goes out onto Pebbles. There's the Weed Field. Ultimate from Pharaoh is going to miss and turns it around. Pharaoh might be in a little bit of trouble as, no, Pharaoh will, in fact, stay alive, and Pebbles goes down. Energy field being used as Myrmidon has to stand in the middle of that. Going to take a lot of damage, but Pharaoh, what the hell was that? Zints just hits a creep with the Wrath of the Pharaoh, and not ideal at all. Wretched Hag picks up a regeneration rune, and she's going to be able to make her way back toward the bottom lane, try to shut down Fabelli on this Soul Stealer. Now, SS is one of those heroes, like I said, you kind of need to shut him down in the early game. Once he starts to pick up a few items, he can farm very, very quickly. And once he's able to get his farm on, you know, he gets very big, starts hitting very hard, able to hit that level 11, get a portal key or an assassin's shroud, and land huge ultimates. Well, of course, very strong. But if you're able to consistently gank him, keep his soul count low, then you can shut him down pretty effectively. As he does pick up a Mighty Blade to complement his Steam Boots. Now Hag's going to come in, Haunt being applied, Keg goes out, Keg will connect, Soul Stealer ultimate, or excuse me, Plague Rider ultimate is going to go out, and Soul Stealer tries to turn it around. Wretched Hag will take a fall right here, Engineer's in trouble as well, and they will both go down. So Legion team gets the response, takes out both of the assassins, but they do lose their Soul Stealer for it. And Fade now having to retreat a little bit here in the middle lane as well, does not want to take too much more pressure from the Pebbles. Of course, Pebbles did just use his Stalagmites. It's Reflection going to be out on Fade right here. The Burning Shadows comes in. There's the Wrath of the Pharaoh as well as the Weed Field. And Pebbles is going to be going down here. One more auto attack. There he goes. The Hellfire actually secures the kill. And down goes Pebbles. 14 kills now at 12 minutes into this game. Game is very, very even. Only about a 1 experience lead. No, a little bit more than 1 just now, but experience lead is pretty much nothing, and gold lead only about 300, so pretty much nothing. I like the action. I like the evenness of this game thus far. I like it quite a bit. Mirax is currently farming very well in the top lane, 333 gold per minute. He's going to be closing in on that portal key relatively soon. Now closing in, Hag will have to blink on out of there before the Legion team does close in on her and try to take her out. So Miraxis, once he picks up that portal key, really, really going to be nice. He's going to be able to get the initiation onto Plague Rider with no escape mechanism, no stuns, no slows, and the Plague Rider's just not going to be able to do much. As Pebbles actually does a nice Stalagmite right there, picks up the Invis rune, does not chug that one just yet. And let me retract my statement. Plague Rider, or excuse me, Soul Stealer does have a slow. Of course, with his Soul Burst, then he will put a little bit of a slow out. But need to be able to get that one off. And of course, if you do get stunned, then that's going to get canceled. But if you're standing right on top of somebody to get the slow from that, you're probably worried a little bit more about things other than the slows. As Reflection comes out right there, there's the Burning Shadows and the Cult. Engineer may be in some trouble. No, the Wheatfield does miss. And whoa, Engineer down to about 10 HP. Wrath of the Pharaoh going to whiff as well. Zilliant's having some really, really rough times on the Pharaoh so far. That's his third whiff on the Wrath of the Pharaoh. I mean, hitting creeps or just straight up missing right there. Definitely not having a good time. The Engineer is able to make it to town before the Wrath of the Pharaoh is going to connect. And that's where it ended up. And Engineer's been in town for about 10 seconds so far. So Zint's certainly not having the best of times. But, I mean, like Pew pointed out in the first game, this is not Druid's normal roster. They have made a couple of changes as there is an Invisible Pebbles here. Will he be going in for a kill? Rev Ward is down, so make sure not to walk by that one, bitch slapped. But not going to be going in just yet. Now, like I said, Pew says this is not their normal roster. They unfortunately did have to make a few changes as a result of being mid-season. They are not able to get those new players in, however. So, playing with not their normal 5 as Portal Key shown off here. The red power throw goes out. Emerald Lightning's there as well, but simply not enough burst damage to coming out right here as middle lane. We had a TP coming in, but was in fact canceled. So Pharaoh will just be able to activate that health potion, toggles his Steam Boots to agility, and will be able to survive just fine for now. Yolan picks up a Steam Staff on Wretched Hag and going to be starting to work on some Arcanas, work on that Hellfire. Going to be very nice for her to have, able to lock down somebody like that Fade or like that Soul Stealer before they're able to activate one of their escape mechanisms, the Reflection, or maybe even a Shrunken Head in Soul Stealer's case. As he does start saving up, it's going to be interesting here. The Soul Stealer does buy the Mighty Blade, of course, but oftentimes we do see a Mighty Blade coming out from Soul Stealers before, as Meraxes is in deep right now, and he does go down. The Plague Carrier ultimate takes him out. But you do typically see a Mighty Blade on Soul Stealers before going for that portal key a lot of times, just to get the strength out of it, just to get that maximum HP pool. As I do need to add this guy to my ignore list. Got a chat bug coming out as usual. Ignore add Zafism TFS. So hopefully that'll take care of that. Sorry about that, guys. It's one of those bugs that you just can't really seem to shake. Now, speaking of bugs that you can shake, I have not seen an invisible bear in quite some time, and I may have just jinxed myself, but have not seen an invisible Boo Boo Bear in a few weeks. So I'm excited to see maybe that bug has been finally cleaned up, as this tower's now in deny range. Pebbles is going to have to get kind of tricky if he wants to go in there for that, but Chuck, no, not going to be close enough. Plague Rider, if he had been just a little bit closer to that tower, Pebbles might have been able to get the kill with that Chuck, as 2 denies come out for the Legion team, so able to deny a lot of gold. This is not casual mode. Able to deny a lot of experience to the other team as a Reflection comes out. Burning Shadows, portal key being picked up, and Soul Explosion, Soul Burst. Down goes Wretched Hag. I don't know if that Soul Stealer ultimate was necessary, but well, damn if it was not used, and the portal key being shown off. Speaking of portal keys, Pebbles is now about 1,000 gold off of his. He went for a little bit stronger of a core than you might normally see with the full Mystic Vestments, Power Supply Bottle, and Steam Boots before portal key. Meraxes also went for something similar, going for that Mana Battery into Steam Boots, Mystic Vestments. But he's also been farming a little bit better than his Pebbles counterpart, up at about 70 gold per minute higher right now. Speaking of high gold per minute, though, Fibelli currently leading the game at 353 gold per minute. His team's down by just a very small amount of gold, but up by a relatively small amount of experience. And that's not necessarily a bad position for our Legion team to be in. They want their Soul Stealer to be a little bit more out of control, up near 400 or something. But getting that portal key right now, able to get that Shrunken Head relatively soon. If he's able to get that Shrunken Head about the same time that Pebbles does pick up his portal key, then I think the Legion team is going to be in pretty good position. Unfortunately, though, for Fibelli, he's still quite far off, as he does spend some gold. I mean, I assume that he spent some gold at least, because he doesn't have any, and he should have had some from getting the kill on that Wretched Hag a little bit ago, as he did pick up that one. So maybe he does have something like the War Hammer in his bank already, as Meraxes looks like he wants to go in on somebody down here in the bottom lane. Fade shows herself, and Meraxes wants to go in so bad, but the teammates do have TP support available. Every other person on this map does have a TP on them. So if they want to get in here, it's just a matter of time. Meraxes trying to find somebody, not quite able to close the distance just yet. Pebbles wants to get in there. Engineer wants to get in there. There's the Quake coming out, and Fade's going to be the first one to fall right here. Plague Rider Ultimate's going to be out there bouncing around. Wheatfield, unfortunately, does miss. Myrmidon taking a lot of damage. Engineer's going to be the first to fall for the Hellborn team, and down goes Meraxes as well. Luna falls as well. Bat Blast catching a couple of players right there. Sonar Scream out, and Plague Rider taking a lot of damage. No, Plague Rider turning around the damage, actually, onto Wretched Hag, and Legion team with their TP support will actually be able to clean up a lot of players, and auto attacks going out onto Pebbles as well. The Tormented Soul, no, not going to be able to run him down just yet, though. All the stuns are dead. The Wrath of the Pharaoh on cooldown, and Legion team, I mean, the Hellborn, they really should not have gone in there, in my opinion. I know that they wanted to play super, super aggressive. They had the ward behind the tower over here. It did get counter-warded, of course, but they wanted to make a kill happen. They knew that Fade and Plague Rider were kind of stuck down there, and they wanted to capitalize on it, but when you're fighting on top of a tower like that, you have to be aware that TP support can be coming in at any time. And that's exactly what it did. And so Hellborn team, they take a pretty poor fight right there, and they pay for it with 4 of their players' lives. Of course, able to trade that one out for the Myrmidon and, of course, for the Fade. Both of them did fall as well. And now Meraxis does pick up a Helm of the Black Legion. So with that Helm of the Black Legion, he will, of course, be able to be a little bit tankier. With that Mystic Vestments, actually, he's quite tanky. Activates that Matrax and should be able to sustain quite a ton of damage. Sorry about that, guys. Had to take a drink of water. When you're solo casting, as Breaky CPK always says, you gotta stay hydrated. Otherwise, you start to lose your voice. And I've still got casting later on today. I've got casting tomorrow as well. So I'm excited for both of those. But as we do have the Hellborn team roaming around once more, Pebbles has picked up his portal key. And Plague Rider has kind of shown himself down here, but not really in position to be ganked once again. And all of a sudden, you have 4 players from the Hellborn. 3 of them are just kind of hanging out. Okay, there we go. So a power throw comes out. They reveal themselves, and they need to just push right here. If they can get a gank set up while the push goes on, that's great. But TP support comes in. A couple of TPs, in fact, going to be coming in. And Pharaoh going to be trying to scout out with the Tormented Soul. Does spot Aluna's image, and so they're going to be trying to make their way over here. Try to catch Mikey's out of position, perhaps. Another Tormented Soul is up in about 5 more seconds. And Myrmidon going to try to give chase. Aluna hides in here, and she's actually just going to get killed. Burning Shadows goes down, and Mikey's will take the fall. Unfortunately, just not able to make the correct cuts right there. Not able to get in the correct position, use her team to try to save her. And the team says, you know, we're not even going to go anywhere near that. And Soulstealer actually finishes up his Shrunken Head now. So I kind of mentioned earlier that if Soulstealer was able to get that Shrunken Head by the time that Portal Key was picked up on Pebbles, that they might be in a good position. And, well, with involvement in 4 or 5 kills down there in that last team fight, it actually looks like 5 kills. Fabelli was able to pick that one up as Meraxis might go for initiation here. No, Wrath of the Pharaoh going to be coming out, and in fact, Soulstealer goes in. The Soul Ultimate going to be going out, but Meraxis not taking a whole lot of damage. Plague Ultimate bouncing around. Plague Rider gets taken out by the combo from Pebbles, and down goes Meraxis as well as the Matrax does fall off. Hag gets the Bat Blast onto 2. Pharaoh's going to go down, and it looks like Soulstealer is going to be short to fall. Chuck onto him. The Weed Field not going to be able to connect. Power Throw going to be going out, and auto attacks, and Myrmidon's going to take a fall as well. So Hellborn team gets the better end of that engagement as Fade was nowhere to be found, and the Hellborn team just capitalizes on the overextension of the Legion. Fade just trying to get her farm on, but both of these teams really just falling victim to their own overextension, their own overambition, trying to pick up their kills, but unfortunately just were not quite able to. And, well, as a result, the experience lead is the only thing that the Legion team has left. The gold lead all but non-existent at 93, 138, whatever you want to call it. And the Hellborn team starting to make their way back into this game. If they're able to capitalize on some poor initiation like that one right there by Zinz, I mean, diving past the tower onto a Meraxis. Just not intelligent. You know, that Meraxis has 1500 life with a Mystic Vestments, and he can just hit that Matrax, and that absorbs so much damage, especially if there's multiple people around him. It can absorb so much damage, and even with Soulstealer coming in, just hitting that level 2 ultimate maxed out souls, you saw Meraxis. He just took, like, almost no damage. Almost no damage at all, and so as a result, he does go down. Now, speaking of going down, Plague Rider is going to be in some trouble here. Meraxis is going to spawn out this Plague Rider. Engineer is going to make his way back over as well. And there's the Quake. The Keg goes out. Unfortunately, Keg does miss. The Pebbles comes in, though, and he uses the auto attacks, I guess. There weren't any spells actually being used there. and is able to pick that one up. Now, Fade does take a little bit of damage. Wrath of the Pharaoh comes out, and Barbed Armor being activated here by Pharaoh. And, well, Soul Stealer cleans up Meraxes that time. Wretched Hag in the back takes a lot of damage as double Demon Hands come down, and Soul Stealer does take a fall. Pebbles perhaps in some trouble as Auto Attack's going to be trying to make sure that he does not get away. Burning Shadows, and Fade has to be very, very careful right here not to die. Barbed Armor activated once more, and Bitch Slapped goes down this time. So, Legion team, they clean up this time. We're going back and forth, guys. Still a very even fight, or even game, but not even fight. 3 for 0. I cannot speak right now. 3 for 0 exchange favoring the Legion team as Soul Stealer hits 435 gold per minute. Level 17. Looking pretty danged good. Here the zap on Engineer hits a keg right there, and although the wheat field's going to go out, well, there's the Carp, and they're going to try to put out the pressure onto Soul Stealer, but he has Portal Key in 1 second, and Portal Key's on out of there. Power Throw not going to be able to connect. They're going to try to find this Pharaoh perhaps, but no, he will be able to teleport out, as well as the Hellborn team just kind of falls back and well, tried to make something happen, not quite able to. They were able to defend the tower. Where does the Hellborn team stand now? Well, they're about 4,000 gold, 5,000 experience behind their opponents. They don't have a ton of farm on the people that need to have a ton of farm, especially that Wretched Hag, 257 gold per minute. She's sitting on 2 Arcanas now, so we'll be making her way toward that Hellflower at some point. Pebbles, of course, picks up his first Arcana as well, and you'd expect Meraxes to be working on one very, very soon here. But we shall see. Wrath of the Pharaoh going to be going out. Connects with Meraxes here. Will the the Tormented Soul goes out. Will they connect with Wrath of the Pharaoh? No, not going to be using that one just yet. And in fact, Plague Ready. They're going to turn it around. The Quake goes out onto Fade right here. Red Power Throw is activated. The Matrax is up as well. And Fade might be in a little bit of trouble. No, activates the Reflection and will be able to get out of there. Engineer drops the energy field right here and is able to escape for now. But no, he does go down. Luna goes down as well. And well, Meraxes is going to be in some trouble. The Carp goes out. The Tormented Soul gives him the vision. And Legion team just absolutely cleans up right there. Another big overextension from Mikey's team. And they now find themselves down by 9,000 experience. Soul Stealer starting to get pretty big. Picks up a Firebrand. So he's going to be able to start working on that Geometer's Vein relatively soon here. If they're able to take down this tower, they'll be able to give themselves a lot of room if they want to take Kongor, and down goes that creep wave. Just a couple of Demon Hands, easy peasy. Pew on the Myrmidon, trying to get a little bit of counter warding done. Not going to find any just yet, though, because there are not really a whole lot of wards on the map. I mean, in terms of wards, actually, there are none. Mikey's has a couple in his inventory, and I can't check to see how many there are available in the shop, but in terms of straight wards, Mikey's maybe fallen a little bit behind here. He's going to be making his way toward that bottom river. Will he choose to drop a ward? Does. Well in sight of this ward of sight, though, so Pew will just be able to make his way over there soon and drop a Ward of Revelation. Get that countered, no problem. And Fade has picked up a Portal Key of her own now. So going to be able to follow up on the initiation of the Pharaoh and of the Soul Stealer a little bit easier, able to land those big burning shadows that her team so desperately needs. Set up those line stun after line stun here with Myrmidon and Fade, and they're going to be making their way over here to try to get a little bit of counter warding done again. No, not in fact going to be going for any counter warding, as Fade does activate that Reflection. She's on the prowl now, wants to find Engineer, and Engineer's in some trouble. Wrath of the Pharaoh comes out. He drops the energy field, but will it be enough? No, he's going to be falling right there, and they might try to turn it around with a little bit of counter initiation. Fade does spot the Aluna, but they're hugging the tower. Hellborn team does not want to get initiated on by Fade right now. And Word of Revelations, no Word of Revelations available. They're just kind of putting that bird in the air. As Burning Shadows comes in, Fade completely whiffs right there. Shrunken Head already activated on Soulstealer, and the Luna will go down, so that's what they were able to buy with that Shrunken Head, as the combo goes out onto Fade, but Miraxis unfortunately gets in there. The Bat Blast is going to go out, and Fade does go down, and Plague Rider going to try to TP on out of there. No, she drops as well. That Hellfire makes him take so much damage. So another kind of a mistake there by these teams. The Fade goes in, tries to get the initiation off, but completely turns around the wrong direction with that Burning Shadows, and as a result, not able to connect. Pebbles and Miraxis kind of stalking the, what do they call them? The Murderous Moppets. That was the name from Honcast way back in the day. Referred to Mag and Pyro back then, or Hammerstorm and Pyro, something like that, but in this case, I say that Pebbles and Miraxis do classify as Murderous Moppets. As soon as they pick up those portal keys, of course, getting so strong as Pebbles drops some Stalagmites on a Wild Hunter. Pebbles, that's not going to help you out too much, buddy. So, in the last team fights, a couple of players being picked off here. There's a 10 hero kill lead in favor of Druidz eSports. But even with that hero kill lead, they're not super far ahead in terms of gold and experience. Their lead is there, but it's not insurmountable by any means. And so we'll see how they do capitalize on that lead, picking up something like the portal key on phase. Very nice. And, well, Pharaoh actually picks up an Acolyte's book. Neophyte's book. And with that, he's going to be working on a Staff of the Masters. We already saw the Glowstone being picked up, and that could have been for a couple of things. Maybe he was going to go for a Sacrificial Stone, or an Icon of the Goddess, excuse me. Or perhaps for a Frostwolf Skull, but no, will in fact be going for that Staff of the Masters, which he should be about 2,000 gold off of now. And with that Staff of the Masters, he'll be able to actually just get in there a little bit easier. He's going to be able to target his teammates with his hook, and of course reduce the cooldown on that to 20 seconds from 40 at level 16. So that's of course going to be extremely nice to have. Fade picks up a Apprentice Robes here, and she might be working on some Arcanas of her own, maybe going for that Hellflower. And of course, Soulstealer, I believe that he just picked up a Blessed Orb. I want to say that I saw that back at home. And with that leads me to believe he will be finishing up that Geometer's Vein relatively soon. Not going to be going for a Dawnbringer because, one, that's probably a bad item for Soulstealer, and two, that item is not yet available in the game. So, trying to put pressure on this tower. Plague Rider is going to be making his way up there, looking like he wanted to drop a ward, but nice deny right there from Engineer. He might be in some trouble, though. Tormented Soul is going to go out. The Kelpfield actually going to catch him as initiation here. Fade's going to be able to grab initiation onto a Luna. Soulstealer blows up two of them. The Hellflower being applied onto Pharaoh's in the back. The Plague Ultimate bouncing around Miraxis with the Matrax activated. He's in some trouble. Matrax goes down. Burning Shadows is there, and Miraxis in some trouble. Bat Blast is not going to be able to save him just yet, as Yolam is going to go down. It's just Pebbles left. He has to portal key on out of there. And big plays there from the Legion team, getting big initiation, get the tower, and then they're able to clean up on the Miraxis that overextends a little bit too deep into the lines. Yolam coming back in, throwing his life away for naught. And just like that, a couple of towers do in fact go down as Myrmidon dies. So it looks like he was tanking the tower while he had a haunt on him still from that Bat Blast, I guess. So that's kind of unfortunate. There's no way he should have had the haunt on him. I guess it just gave the kill to Yolam because that was the person that did the most damage to him, or the most recently. Whatever. Experience lead now about 15,000 in favor of the Legion team. 8,000 gold lead as well. They're starting to look pretty damn strong. Leading the way is, of course, Soulstealer up at about 500 gold per minute. And Pharaoh, he's not doing too bad himself at 300. He's number 2 on his team and number 2 in the game, as all three of the key players over here on the Hellborn side do, in fact, have relatively low gold per minute at 300-ish, all of them. Pharaoh finishes up his Staff of the Masters, and, well, that 2,000 gold came pretty dang quick indeed. Pretty dang quick. Soulstealer picks up a Soul's Bulwark. So with that, of course, in addition to his Dread, he's got -9 armor aura. Just kind of walking around. He's going to start hitting real hard against some of these players. He's only hitting for 206 damage right now, if you don't take that armor into account. But -9 armor, it's not something to scoff at, as he does take out the triple stacked Ancients relatively easily. Fade picks up her second Arcana, so she's going to be finishing up that Hellfire relatively soon. Miraxis, he had really good farm early on. Was able to get that Portal Key, was able to get that Mystic Vestments, Helm of the Black Legion to get himself tanky. After that, though, he just simply has not gotten anything. Pebbles is, he's sitting on a Hellfire now, though. So nice job to Bitch Slap to being able to squeak out the farm to finish that out. Not bad, not bad. Another triple stack nation's going to go down, this time for the Hellborn team. Pew wants to get in there and do some warding, do some counter warding, but no, not quite going to be able to, as both these teams just content to kind of sit back for now, don't want to overextend, don't want to give up any unnecessary kills, as Miraxis does get spotted out with a Tormented Soul. Not going to initiate just yet, though. Pharaoh, with his Barbed Armor and Staff of the Masters, is pretty tanky himself. 18 armor with the Mystic Vestments. He's at 10 magic armor and 2,100 life, essentially. Not bad for not having any innately tanky items, like your Helm of the Black Legion. He's able to just kind of get that HP from that Staff of the Masters, which does give him 10 strength and, of course, 200 max health. And just being level 17, able to get that strength as well. Soulstealer making his way up the middle lane. They want to bring down these last two outer towers. Both of them at about 80% now, as the Legion team does start to group up. Level 16 Fade activates that Reflection, wants to be able to get that clear vision. And, well, the bird is up right now, as Wrath of the Pharaoh's going to come in. They're going to be able to catch Engineer, and Engineer does take a fall. So, yeah, Fade actually goes in with a big Burning Shadows, catching two players. Luna will be able to get away. The Matrix has been activated, and Fade's going to be in some trouble. Bat Blast connects, and down goes Fen. So, Fade not quite in the right position there, gets counter-initiated on him. And if Fade had simply just not gone in right there, they would have been able to get the kill on the Engineer. Slow push down this tower, probably taken at least one, maybe two towers. And unfortunate, though, that Fade does get picked off as TP comes in. Miraxis is back in the front lines. Matrix down for 30 seconds, though, and will they be going in for another initiation? Pharaoh does have his ultimate up right now, and, well, Quake just goes out right there. They're going to be able to try to set something up on Miraxis if they want to. I really think that they should. They do have the Shrunken Head and ultimate available from Soulstealer, but no. He's already fallen back, so says, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and deal with the top lane. There's a lot of farm over there, and that's where I want to be. Pebbles picks up a Mighty Blade now, so he's going to be making his way toward that Shrunken Head, along with Wretched Hag. She picks one up as well. With those double Mighty Blade Shrunken Head pickups, it's going to be very, very nice to have against the high magic damage output team of the Fade, the Myrmidon, the Soul Burst from Soulstealer, and of course Pharaoh. A lot of his damage is magic as well. So going to be very, very nice to have indeed. Also to deal with the multiple stuns, the Burning Shadows, the Weed Field. And speaking of defensive items, Soulstealer picks up a Warp Cleft. So going to be making his way toward a Demonic Breastplate very, very soon here. Of course, going to be extremely nice to have. We'll be able to increase his own attack speed and also his armor. So the physical type damage that's going to be coming out from the Pebbles and the Hag in terms of the auto attacks, even Miraxis with his auto attacks as well. And I believe that one of his skills was physical, but I can never remember which. Miraxis is magic. Okay, I can't remember. I thought that one of them was. And speaking of Shrunken Heads, Wretched Hag does finish hers up right there. She's going to be making her way back toward home, and Myrmidon picks up a Bound Eye, so going to be able to start working toward clearing out the map with the combination of Fade and Pharaoh. They're able to provide clear sight and high ground vision, so she will be able to counter ward very effectively. Miraxis just picks up a Shrunken Head, so he's been hiding his items. Okay. I've been kind of wondering where Miraxis' money has been going. Like, does he just keep dying? Because he does have 7 deaths, which is a lot of deaths. But, no, he does not keep dying. He picks up a Shrunken Head here, and Pebbles now only about 1,000 gold away as well. That's going to be very nice if they're able to get all 3 of those 10-second Shrunken Heads off in a fight. Hellborn team has a very good shot of being able to take the fight indeed. Bloodgrider leads the charge here from the Legion team as they kind of want to make their way up here. Drops a Ward of Sight. And well, Mikey's is going to make his way out front as well. Just going to clear some things up with a power throw. Legion team way far back there, though. And they want to be able to finish up the Hellflower on Fade. I'm pretty sure that's what they're actually looking for. And Fade, I know that she just picked up a Steam Staff, so she probably very close at this point to finishing up that Hellflower. And as an Arcana is picked up onto Pharaoh as well, well, that's going to be very nice to have. He's going to be able to get a Hellflower of his own at some point. Fade finishes up her Hellflower, just delivered right there. So now she's going to be hiding in the jungle. Wants to get in there. Going to be going to the other side, though, as she does spawn out this Ward of Revelation with the eye here from Myrmidon. No. Fade has the eye. Okay. And we'll back up. Going to be getting in there. Burning Shadows out onto Wretched Hag. There's the ultimate from Soul Stealer. Down goes Wretched Hag. The Shrunken Head being activated now by Miraxis. Plague ultimate out, bouncing around, not doing a ton of damage, though. Actually, Luna's going to be going down. Now it's doing a ton of damage. And Pebbles is in some trouble. Miraxis is in some trouble. Matrax deactivates right there. And as soon as it does, Miraxis is going to be going down. Already 3 players down. 2 of the major players here for the Hellborn team are in the ground. Pebbles the only one left alive against all 5 of the... Oh, pew. Come on. All 5 of the Legion team are still up right now. Wrath of the Pharaoh does whiff, so not able to connect to that just yet. And, well, Melee Barracks are going to be taking some fire here as the major players from the Hellborn team are down for about another 40 seconds. Doesn't look like they're going to be up in time as the racks do go down. Will they go for Congo or will they go for the mid-racks? With this tower down, I think they have to go for the mid-racks. Or, excuse me, the Kongor. They might go for the mid-tower, then Kong. But no, they're going to be making their way toward Kongor. Walk right by a mine. So the Hellborn team are now very well aware of what's going on as Wrath of the Pharaoh being used to target an ally right there. And does, of course, stun Kongor a little bit. Kongor taking a lot of pressure with that demonic. Everybody's attacking a little bit faster and taking a little bit less damage. Of course, the negative armor does not apply to Kongor anymore. He's still sitting pretty at his 11 armor. But Kongor still dying just fast enough. As down he goes. Soul Stealer picks up the Token of Life. As it looks like there's another initiation here onto Miraxis. The Hellflower has been applied. Wrath of the Pharaoh comes in and down goes Probusk. With the death on Miraxis right there, that may have just done it. Vitriolic is in some deep trouble. And Soul Stealer just takes out that tower easy peasy, no problem. Going to be cleaning up creep waves left and right. Pharaoh only about 700 gold off of finishing up his Hellflower, which is going to be very bad news for the Hellborn team should another fight even arise. Portal key picked up as initiation coming in right here. Hag's going to be in a little bit of trouble. She goes down. The Soul Burst applied from Soul Stealer. Pebbles going to combo down Pharaoh, but not quite able to. The Wheatfield is there. Myrmidon is just in the right position as down goes Pebbles. GG well plays are going to be coming out as bad manner all over the place here from Druidz, but well diving, and Pharaoh just puts an end to it right there. Guys, that is going to do it. Druidz does advance 2-0 in this series, so very well done. Vitriolic, their streak ends here. They will end with 4th place in the gold division. They have qualified for diamond, so look forward to seeing them in the next diamond cycle. It's going to be starting next weekend, but congratulations to Druidz. They're going to be going on to face Pencils here in just a little while, so it should be about an hour out, maybe a little longer than an hour, because this was a 2-0 series, finished up pretty fast. But guys, I will of course be casting Druidz versus Pencils when that series does start up, so make sure don't go anywhere. Go get a drink, go make some lunch, do something, but be back here when we do start with that series. This has been Colecast presents HoN Tour Live with me, your casting host Beef. Druidz takes the series 2-0 over Vitriolic and will advance to the lower bracket finals. I'm going to be going up against Pencils very soon. So guys, one big shout out to S2 for putting on HoN Tour, and specifically to MilkFat for helping me be here able to bring you guys these games. And of course, a big shout out to Complexity Gaming for allowing Colecast to happen. Check them out over at complexitygaming.com, facebook.com/complexitygaming, and Twitter at complexitylive. While you're over there on Twitter, you can check me out at beefpotpie1. You can, of course, see that right there on your screen. That's for all of your information regarding Colecast, HoN, whenever I'm going live, or just any other musings that I have on Twitter, like this morning when I was installing my graphics card fan and hoping that it wouldn't explode, which it has not, thankfully, and hopefully you guys can't hear any whirring in the background anymore, as my old fan was loud as a jet plane. But that's going to be it, guys. Another big shout out to the Complexity sponsors, Sound Blaster, Origin, QPad, PNYG8, Brand, and Twitch. Without them, this would not be possible. And one more thing, guys, if you've not already followed here on twitch.tv/complexityhon, please make sure to do so. You will get an email every time that we do go live with Complexity Casting. Colecast presents HoN Tour, Scrimcast, and of course, Sound Blaster Heroes League. That's going to be returning not this upcoming Monday, but the Monday following. So we're only about 9 days out from qualifier number 2 for Sound Blaster Heroes League, guys. Be sure to tune into that. And of course, if you missed out on any of the Colecast productions in the last couple of months, you can click on the info link down below. It says Tournament VODs under the VOD section, or you just head over to youtube.com/repotpie1. You can check all of that out. Of course, everything is in a playlist format, so you can just click on one of those and you're set. There's your series. We've got about 50 series, I think, in the past month and a half, 2 months, that have been put up onto the YouTube. So lots and lots of them to check out. Guys, we'll be back in a little while with Pencils versus Druidz, the lower bracket finals of Gold number 2. This has been Beef. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you guys updated on the scheduling, but it's going to be in about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes or so. So don't go anywhere except to go make lunch and then come back. We'll see you there.